Meghan Markle stands accused of shocking heartlessness after her frail father was caught in a major earthquake, but she didn't seem to care one bit. The difficult Duchess's brother, Thomas Markle Jr., is furious that his sister made no effort to establish that her 81-year-old stroke victim dad was okay, especially amid fears that following a massive 6.9 magnitude quake in the Philippines, he was trapped on the 19th floor of his crumbling apartment block. As it turned out, the epicenter of the seismic shock was 100 miles away, and Thomas Markle Sr. went on to report that he had come through the ordeal unscathed and was just fine. But when his fate was not known, Meghan's silence throughout enraged her fuming relatives. There was not even a phone call to check that the loving parent who raised her and to whom she was once inseparably close had survived. Seething Thomas Markle Jr. has told friends that he believes Meghan's extraordinary lack of interest in whether her father was alive or dead was psychopathic. Meanwhile, as petulant Prince Harry struggles to absorb the harsh truth that his plan to spend more time in Britain to take on royal duties is a total non-starter, his not-so-regal American wife is embroiled in an escalating cruelty row after animal rights campaign group PETA took her to task over her treatment of chickens in her unacceptably boring Netflix cooking dross with Love Meghan. There she is in one scene, coochie-cooing the feathered friend she keeps at her Montecito palace in the sun. And in the next, she's got her hand up the backside of a slaughtered plucked chicken, calling the poor thing our lovely lady. In an excoriating video posted on the Duchess of Sussex's favourite social media site, Instagram, PETA asks, did Meghan just call a chicken's dead body lovely lady? Yes, she did. Next PETA question. Isn't it twisted to cuddle a chicken 1 minute and shove your hand in another the next? Well, you decide. I'm an animal lover. I simply detest cruelty to innocent creatures. It's the one chink in my tough guy armour. So while I'm certainly not some crazed vegan, I don't eat meat. But I would never moralise about those who do. It's a personal choice, and it's not my position to say what's right and what's wrong. What do I know? But I do think PETA makes a powerful point on Meghan lovingly cuddling and stroking her vibrant backyard hens shortly before forcing stuffing into a dead one and, as she oddly puts it, tying its back legs together in an elegant way. Elegant? I don't think so. Of course, this is not the first time Meghan has found herself in a world of trouble on the animal welfare front. In an earlier episode, the self-styled domestic goddess stood watching as chef Jose Andres knifed a live lobster through the back of its head, whispering, "Come here, baby." Looking somewhat nauseated, Meg gasped, "He called it baby." Yeah, Mrs. Sussex, not unlike you calling that recently killed chicken our lovely lady. But then, just as she seemed appalled by the twitching crustacean's execution, the Duchess perked up and chirped, "It's the circle of life." Or, from the murdered lobster's point of view, the circle of death. Could it be that these hard-to-watch macabre carcass scenes helped contribute to With Love Meghan's abysmal viewing figures? In terms of television entertainment, animal cruelty and epic tedium is not a great combo. Please, Netflix, no more. Make it stop. In other news, as the truth comes spilling out about what really happened when Harry met the King for the first time in 19 months, old bull in a china shop Ginger Nuts has done it again, ruining whatever goodwill he may have restored with a furious statement that, and I quote, perplexed and saddened his dad. When the press reported that Harry was surprised by the formality of his reunion with Charles at his London mansion Clarence House, the Prince fired off an endless press release hailing the tea for two get-together as an emotional triumph. Dukey boy wants us to believe that his plans to come back to Britain 4 or 5 times a year and even take on some of his estranged brother William's engagements are all systems go, which they are clearly not. Charles told his troublesome son in no uncertain terms that he will never be allowed to be a half-in, half-out royal. It's all or nothing. And if he stays in California, nothing it will always be. Harry didn't get his own way. And what do little boys do when they don't get their own way? They stage hissy fits. Welcome to yet another Harry tantrum. Make them stop. Well, Samara, let's talk about Meghan's extraordinary lack of interest in whether or not her father had survived that really major earthquake in the Philippines. And as Thomas Markle Jr. said, he thinks it's absolutely psychopathic that she made no inquiries. It's weird, isn't it?
Well, it takes 2 seconds to send a text message, just like I did to Thomas Markle Jr. and Sr. to check if they were okay when the earthquake happened, and they responded that they were fine. But Meghan clearly didn't have the same sort of tenacity to go and do so. It's ridiculous. She clearly doesn't care whether her father lives or dies. And it is this psychopathic tendency that she does have, that she puts towards everything in her life. We can see it with the way she treated the animals on With Love Meghan. We can see it in the way she treats her own blood, her family. She is a narcissist, first of all. And second of all, yeah, I don't think that there's much going on about caring for other people. She's out there for herself.
Yeah, ruthless, a narcissist. Extraordinary that she just didn't seem to care whether or not her dad was alive or dead. And as I said, her brother, Thomas Markle Jr., who's been on my show several times, he made no bones about his feelings about that. Take a look at this.
I've been pissed off for years for what she did to my dad. But here again on this day, the day after the earthquake, is there a phone call? Is there a text? No, there's not. And I'm not going to be the guy who just sits here and just, makes his whole YouTube show about ranting and raving about a worthless piece of shit walking the planet who claims that she's God's gift to the world. I'm not going to do that.
Reem, I think we know what Thomas Markle Jr. thinks, but your thoughts on this extraordinary lack of compassion by Meghan?
It is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, also in Thomas's voice, you can hear the emotion and the anger, really, can't you? 6.9 magnitude is huge. It is absolutely serious.
I've been in a 7.1.
Have you? Oh, do you want a medal, Kevin?
6.9, that's nothing. It is actually big.
But it's life-threatening, right? It is
very much so. At least 100 people died.
It's absolutely abysmal. The fact that, especially as a woman, you would expect there would be some level of emotion, some level of empathy for her own father. And the fact that conversation wasn't even being had, I think, is absolutely disgusting. As Samara just said, a text message takes literally a couple of seconds out of your time. You could even have just asked somebody close to him. You didn't have to message them directly, just a check. You would expect somebody with an ounce of human dignity and respect to just ask, is he alive?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't take that long.
Exactly right, Reem. It's your dad, Meghan, for God's sake. Whatever difficulties, whatever troubles you've had with him, it's your father. Now, let's go back to Thomas Markle Jr., who widened his fury to take in Harry this time. Have a listen.
I came to the realization that they take up more of my mental energy focusing on the two biggest dirtbags that I've ever come across. And they're my family members, they take up more of my time and more of my energy, and it's just not even worth it to even think about them anymore.
Yeah, it's the ruthlessness. I mean, we know what she's like. I mean, when she cuts someone out, she did it to her dad. She did it to her friend, the one that's writing her book. What's her name? The Canadian.
Oh, yeah. She did it to her ex-fiance, her ex-husband, Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor Inman. So it's the root. When she cuts someone out of her life, that's it. It's all over.
It's a level of selfishness, isn't it? Because what she's doing is she's saying,
self-love.
my life and what matters to me is what matters the most out of everything I do. And I do think, it's the kind of perspective that I would have maybe had as a teenager. No matter what everybody else does, no matter what everybody else says, my feelings matter the most. Yeah, when in reality, when you get older, you start to realise you only have one life on this earth, and that time is limited. I think she's going to regret this.
You're exactly right, Reem. I think that according to Meghan, the world, according to to Meghan, the universe according to Meghan, is she's at the centre of it, and nothing else matters quite so much. Now, if you thought what Thomas Markle has been saying about Meghan and Harry was bad enough, well, this is where he really took the gloves off because he had the misfortune to try her scam jam, the jam that you can get on As Ever. I've tried it. It's thin, it's ghoulish, it's okay. Here's Thomas's verdict.
But now for the taste.
This is great.
That's disgusting. Ugh.
That was your
I love
reaction,
that
wasn't
man.
it? Do you remember when we
Yes.
did a taste test? So we got the jam, we got the cookie dough, and I made the cookies from the cookie dough. And I brought them in, and we tried them on the show. And Samara, tucks into the cookies that I lovingly prepared. It took me about 3 hours. It took hours. You know, I was quite proud of them in the end, and I sprinkled her dried flowers all over them. And Samara goes, yeah. It's like, oh, thanks very much. I thought the cookies were all right. I think the jam's all right, but Thomas, that's all it is. It's okay. But Thomas has a more robust opinion, I would say. After Harry saw the King, hadn't seen him for 19 months, went to Clarence House. You remember that? It was about 2-3 weeks ago, wasn't it? Came and did his 4-day charity tour, grinning for the cameras, doing lots of do-gooder stuff, and expects us all to go, oh, well, everything is forgiven. That's literally what he expected. He expected his family to say, oh, you're back in the fold, it's great. Well, he went to see his dad, 53 minutes. He was there with him, 54 minutes,
Disgusting.
less than an hour. And and he said, it was brilliant, my dad's doing great. He let it be known that it was very emotional, and they both cried and hugged each other, exchanged gifts and all that. Well, after that, a different truth began to emerge. The papers began to report, and I'm including the Times, the Sun newspaper here, began to report that, in fact, when Harry went to Clarence House to see his dad after 19 months, he was somewhat surprised, even shocked, at the formality of the reunion. And in fact, what happened during this powwow, this tea for two meeting, was that the King told him in no uncertain terms, you can forget about your plans to come back 4 or 5 times a year and perform some royal duties. You cannot be a half-in, half-out royal. So actually, he got his plans absolutely kiboshed. And he didn't like it when that truth came out. And after The Sun did this front-page story about how kind of frosty it was between father and son, Harry issued this massive statement. It went on and on and on, saying, oh, yes, I handed him a framed picture, but it wasn't of Meghan, and so on and so on. It's just like the absolute polar opposite of the late Queen's famous maxim, which was, never complain, never explain. Well, Harry always complains and always explains. Whether or not his explanations are true, that's another issue. But this is Kinsey reacting to Harry's extraordinary reaction to these stories in the press that when he met his dad, it wasn't all hearts and flowers.
We would not be talking about this story if it weren't for his response. We would have moved on. There are other things to talk about. I don't think he realizes the damage that he does. But I have a theory that it's Meghan that really wanted the narrative corrected, because one of the specific details that we get that no one asked for is that Meghan is not in the photo. Well, who would care about that? Who would care, so passionately about Meghan not being featured in the photo handed to King Charles? There's really only one person I can imagine caring about that, and it's Meghan Markle. So I'm thinking that Meghan lit the fire under his butt that led to this very bizarre, very unnecessary statement that blew up in their faces.
So what's Kinsey's saying there, quite rightly, is that statement just fueled the fire. So people write more and more and more. And that statement, the King let it be known, saddened and perplexed him. So in other words, Harry came to Britain 4 days, then he went off to Ukraine, if you remember, and it was his Love Me Do tour. He was trying to get us all to love him again, trying to get his family to love him again. And, you know, I don't think he did that well, but he went some way to restoring the faith, if you like. And then ruined it with that statement. He absolutely ruined it. And he spoiled it for his dad, spoiled it for everyone else. He is his own worst enemy. Let's go back to the other element of my magnificent monologue at the beginning of the show. That's the animal cruelty issue. Peter, the animal rights campaign group, are furious because, well, look, have a look at this. This is, there you go. So she's doing this. This is her stuffing up a chicken's backside. This is an earlier scene. There she is. So it's interspersed between her being loving and cooing her chickens in the backyard, and the next scene she's stuffing her hand up one of them having killed it. You know, slaughtered the chicken. And you know, I don't like to moralise about meat eating. That's up to every single individual. But there's something kind of weird about this, isn't there, Samara? You're a vegetarian, aren't you? Vegan?
Yeah, I absolutely am, and I can't even look at her shoving her disgusting fingers up that chicken's ass. It's horrible. I don't know how she even. I don't know how she.
I spend all the time trying to sort of diplomatically say chicken's backside, chicken's ass.
Sorry, that's the
Welcome
Australian.
to Australia,
yeah,
folks.
That's the Australian in me is disgusting. I don't even think her producers, like, I don't know how they thought that was good TV, because it's gross, to be quite frank. But yeah, it does go down to this thing about, first of all, the fact so the chicken scene was filmed at her real house. The chicken stuffing scene is filmed at her fake house.
Yeah.
So there is a dissonance in her mind between these two locations. Reem, I know you want to say something,
I do.
please.
I think you're both being really woke. I mean, come on. Have you never seen a dead animal being stuffed for a delicious meal? And you know what? I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Are you supporting Meghan?
However,
You're supporting Meghan. There's nothing more woke than that.
I'm not a fan of...
Wokey.
I'm
You support
not a fan of
wokey,
Meghan, but
wet
listen,
Meghan.
I love a proper steak. I love a Texas barbecue. I love a proper steak. And I think both of you are pretty woke vegetarians.
Well, you know, I mean, as I say, I don't care whether people eat meat
Yeah,
or
but the
not.
fact that you're so scared of a dead animal being prepared for a
I'm not
lovely
scared.
meal.
I'm not
You
scared
are.
of it. I'm not.
You're afraid.
I'm not scared at all of
You're
it.
a snowflake.
I'm not scared of it at all. I don't in any way condemn people who want to eat meat. I'm pretty sort of hard line about animal cruelty. I hate it. And about 3-4 years ago, I just decided
That's not animal cruelty. She's eating a chicken.
I just decided it was hypocritical of me to eat meat, so I stopped.
Yeah, I think that's pretty woke. I think you're both pretty
Well, it's like you can say it's
soft.
woke, but
No,
I'm not
because this is
woke
the
about
point.
it. Good luck to you eating steaks. Up to you.
I love eating steak. I do love eating chicken.
But we're talking about
But
the
it's
weird
not animal
We're
cruelty.
talking about the weird juxtaposition between in one scene, oh my lovely chickens, the next one, oh look at that, sorry. Right now, worse than that maybe was another scene, a bloodthirsty scene on With Love, Meghan, filmed earlier. This was a poor lobster meeting its maker. It's stabbed in the back of the head live. Watch this.
Come over here, baby.
Called it baby.
We're gonna cut it in the middle. We put it right here. We do the other cut the other way. Are you okay? Yeah.
I'm good. I could do it. Look,
I mean, listen, at the end of the day,
it's the circle of life.
It's the circle of life, so that's okay then. I mean, what do you think about stabbing a live lobster through the back of the head?
I think it's fine. It's an animal.
It's not fine.
It's
Not, that is not fine.
I think
look,
she's...
look, if you're going to slaughter animals, you should, I've got no objection to animals being slaughtered and people eating them. That's their choice. But the slaughtering should be humane. That's not humane.
I think it's pretty fine. I mean, basically, Meghan's reaction is a bit odd, and the way she's saying it's a circle of life, clearly she feels a little bit uncomfortable about it. If you're going to go and do it like a man. What, chow?
Well, he did do it like... He did it with a knife.
First of all, Meghan clearly doesn't cook. You can clearly
Yeah,
see
you
she's
can
never
tell
come
she
face to face with a lobster before this, and Jose Andres just, getting in there and doing his thing. The issue is it's not conducive with Meghan's brand. Meghan's love everyone, flower sprinkles, put everything like this. then it's like her sort of massacring animals in the next scene. I mean, you could but you could put
I agree.
you could put horror music over those scenes, and she would look
Well,
like a
Petter
serial
sort of
killer.
did.
God, I think you're
Peter
both
kind of
so
did.
sensitive.
No, it's not that. We're talking about. Look, I know a bit about television. That's bad television.
No, it's bad television.
Don't kill
That's
animals
true.
on TV. You'll find that people will tune out.
Well, this is the thing, I think with animals, and especially as a meat eater, I will say this, people don't want to think about the animal that they're eating. You know, a burger is delicious, but it doesn't look like a cow. When you are seeing a chicken being cooked and you can see that they are actually live chickens, that's what makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I do think, I mean, have you ever spent a day in an abattoir?
No,
It
God,
might
no.
change your
Yeah.
mind about eating meat. You might. But as I say, trust me, folks, I am not moralising. It's that, you know, it's up to Reem.
I think you need a proper
It's up
date.
to everyone. You eat what you like. I just it came to the point where I felt it was hypocritical for me to eat meat. I'm a bit embarrassed by it because you're quite right. It's the chink in my tough guy armour. It is a bit woke of me. I do apologise. I'm very sorry. I do eat fish though. You know.
Oh, it's okay, you're
They can go to hell. Let's go to a bad ad.
Delicious and so easy to prepare. Just heat Dr. Pepper in a saucepan till it steams, then pour over a thin slice of lemon. That's a hot idea. Yes, Dr. Pepper is delicious cold or hot. Try hot Dr. Pepper. It's a great winter treat. Right, Max? Hot idea.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't like Dr. Pepper much when it's cold, but hot?
I'll have anything that man says.
So anyway, on that dick bombshell, let's go to some real ads. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to part 2 of What Just Happened. This is the moment where we do this.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, it's the big moment. We'll do the small moment in just a little while, but this is a very big moment, certainly in terms of television. The biggest streaming giant in the world, obviously, is Netflix. Barely puts a foot wrong. Put With Love Meghan on, so sometimes it puts a foot wrong, but it is a very successful organisation. Now, Elon Musk, the world's richest man, a man of great influence, who actually owns Twitter, as it used to be, got about 3 zillion followers, he called on October the 1st, there it is, he's calling for his followers and for everyone to cancel their Netflix subscriptions due to transgender themes on kids' series, animated series Dead End, Paranormal Park. These series are targeted at ages of 7 and upwards. And also he's angry about the company's diversity report, 2023 that was, highlighting increased representation of underrepresented groups. Now, also, there's recently been a Transformer series, which is at a transgender robot. So Elon Musk, well, we're back to your theme of wokery. I think we'll all be on the same side on this one. Thank God. I love harmony. What he's attacking is Netflix's wokery. And I do think that Netflix, this is a real misfire. This is ridiculous. Don't bombard little children with transgender ideology. It's wrong. That's for adults. Make up your mind when you're a grown-up, not when you're 7 years old. That's called brainwashing. Am I right, Samara?
Yeah, it's really, really sick. And we know that Elon is touched by this personally because he does have a transgender child, Vivian, who keeps cropping up on my TikTok feed.
The son he lost.
Well,
he said, I lost my son.
Well, I mean, Vivian goes on and blasts him on the daily saying, you know, I would have taken my own life if I hadn't been able to transition, blah, 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 blah.
The utter privilege that comes from that is absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
Vivian really gets on my nerves.
I mean, Vivian has been walking New York Fashion Week week, Vivian's been doing everything under the sun because she's this sort of transgender token child of his. I think that he speaks from the pain of a father whose child has been radicalized.
Yeah, Vivian, let me quote Pete Hegseth. You are a dude in a dress. Let's have a look at this. This is Paranormal Park.
It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. I've never been happier.
Actually, I got it wrong. It's called Dead End Paranormal Park, and now I know why it's called Dead End. That's for 6-year-olds, Reem. What the hell?
It's so worrying and so scary. I think it's really sick because ultimately, if you're a child at 6 years old, you don't know if you're a boy or a girl or a footballer or a princess or an astronaut. You have absolutely no idea because you are a child. And when that is being pushed through cartoons, it is really, really concerning. And especially when they're hearing that on their social media, but they're also, as a 6-year-old, you're hearing it at school, you're hearing it from your teachers, and you are hearing it from your cartoons.
It's just disgustingly wrong. Your thoughts, Samara?
It is, and quite frankly, it's child abuse. I mean, we really shouldn't be pushing this gender ideology. And these poor kids are getting it from every direction because this sort of intifada of trans people have infiltrated their way into our schools, our public institutions. It is really, really bad, and they are shoving it down these kids' throats. And the worst part is now there are certain laws in America, and I think they're trying to make them happen over here in the UK, where if you are trans, you can just tell your teacher and they won't tell your parents. And if your parents disagree with it, they can report you to Child Protective Services. So it's a whole blanket of things that are happening
They'll
in the
break
world.
up families.
Yeah,
I think you're exactly right. It's a form of child abuse. Elon Musk is on the money here. And in fact, thousands of people are cancelling their Netflix subscriptions as we speak. So it's hitting home. Here's a look at another kids show that unsurprisingly I have never seen, but I can't believe that Dead End Paranormal. I'm trans. Oh, shut up. There is brainwashing. That's awful. Right, here's Strawberry Shortcake.
Time for Frightful 101. Welcome to your crash course in holiday self-expression.
Well, again, there you go. That's for 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, I believe that's for. 5-year-olds. What do Netflix think they're doing?
I think parents need to be really worried and really monitor exactly what their children are watching, right? Because your child could be unknowingly indoctrinated with this stuff. Now, the beauty of the free market is that if you don't want to support this stuff, you don't have to fund it. As Elon Musk has demonstrated, if you don't want to support programs that are pushing transgender ideology onto children, you don't need to give them any money. The problem is, as Samara just pointed out with schools, that taxpayer money, taxpayer dollars are funding that stuff. That's where I think the real concern lies.
This is shocking, and of course, but thousands of people cancelling their subscriptions due to Elon Musk's campaign, and Netflix's share price is plummeting as we speak. So they've scored a very self-harming own goal here, I would suggest. Here's. Well, you could call it transgenders now, I suppose, but it's actually transformers. Have a look.
I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Non-binary?
People who aren't female or male. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I always knew my pronouns felt right, but what a wonderful word.
This is a disgrace.
Actually scary.
Absolute claptrap. Feeding kids, force-feeding kids, this ideological claptrap about men, blokes and guys in dresses.
But it's not even just saying, I am non-binary, I don't believe I'm a woman or a man. It is saying not female or male. This is biologically incorrect information.
Yeah. Feeding children untruths.
It's actually a lie. Like, whatever your view is on whether or not an adult can become woman or a man, whatever your view is on transgender, gender ideology, this is pushing the idea that biological sex is not real. Yeah. That is extremely harmful.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, you know, my feeling about trans, you know, if you're a guy and you want to put a dress on, you know, knock yourself out. You know, it doesn't matter to me. Same if you're some woman who wants to pretend they're a guy. You know, live and let live, but don't force feed children this stuff. That is really, really worrying.
I'm a libertarian. I don't care what adults do with their own lives and their own bodies. The problem is that the fact that this idea is now being pushed onto children, and the fact that these are literal untruths because of healthcare issues.
It's really dark, Reem, though. They're focusing on the kids for a reason because they're very easily malleable. The adults aren't as hard to persuade.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's something very, very sinister about this. Let me know what you think, or let us know. Send us your messages. But to the three of us, we're very perturbed by this, and so is Elon Musk. Right, let's move on. It's the small moment. This was old Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Well, as we speak, the American government has been shut down because they can't agree a budget. And so the Democrats were called to the Oval Office. And it seemed like a very jolly affair. They're all laughing away. And then Donald Trump starts posting pictures of them, which are all memed up with moustaches and sombreros on. So it's quite sort of serious. I mean, the shutting down of the American government is quite a kind of ritual over there. It happens quite a lot. And what is not funny is a lot of government employees, and we're talking about people like park rangers, cops, whoever, they have to be put out of work because there's no budget to
I think
sustain.
that's quite funny. I quite like
the
idea.
Well, it's not if you're them.
Well, I think it's quite good if we actually get those people out of the federal government.
Wait a second,
the private sector.
The government.
Well, they've got to earn it. They've got a living to earn. They've got families to raise.
They should be sad.
You think it's funny that they can't feed their kids?
They shouldn't work for the government. We should have a smaller government.
Wait a second. Let's read the fine print here. The servicemen and women also will not be getting paid because the Democrats want illegal aliens to have healthcare. This is what a lot of this is about. This is why the government shutdown has been happening because they don't want to vote against this bill.
Yeah.
They don't want to vote for the new bill. So let's talk about also obviously the army and military not getting paid as well. That's egregious.
The problem is I reckon this will also mean that there are lots of bureaucrats and lots of pen pushers that are not being paid. And I think a lot of American taxpayers will be quite happy about that.
Well, yeah, but it'll only last. It's like a ritual. It's like America's hobby. Happens like once a year. And then after about 2 weeks, they all come back to work. But Trump trolled these Democrats who came to the office with these Trump 2028 hats. And the Democrats said to J.D. Vance, so what do you think about Donald Trump getting a third term as president? J.D. Vance goes, no comment. And they all burst into hysterical laughter. So it was a very good-willed shutting down of the American government, only in America. Let's go to a bad ad.
Harvey, want anything special for your birthday?
Just a decent cup of coffee.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. Honey, your coffee's undrinkable.
It's pretty harsh.
Well, so's your coffee. You know, the girls down at the office make better coffee on their hot plates. Well, see you later. Hey, great coffee.
It's instant Folgers. Doesn't it taste good as fresh perked?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
Right, we're off for a cup of Folgers coffee, and we'll be back in a minute. Questions? What do you got, Samara?
So Ed Miliband says Elon Musk should get the hell out of our politics. What do you think?
I think he should get the hell more involved in our politics, and it's Ed Miliband who should get the hell out of our politics. Ed Miliband, for viewers around the world, America, Australia, etc., Canada, is our barking mad, clinically insane, net zero secretary. So he's like in charge of all of our absolutely insane green policies that are ruining our economy, sending this nation to hell in a handcart. He's just initiated a law that he wants brought in that will ban fracking forever. The guy is absolutely deranged, and the more Elon Musk can fire shots across the bowels of lunatics like Ed Miliband, the better. So, Elon, You stick in our politics. Am I right?
He's also a liar, right? I mean, what he has done is he is saying that fracking is, with this legislation, when he bans it, is going to somehow reduce energy bills. This is absolutely absurd. The rest of the world allow for fracking. We import oil and gas from other countries that are smart enough to actually allow fracking.
America.
He is insane, absolutely insane. And a fundamental point here is we have some of the highest industrial and domestic energy costs in the world.
5 times more than our energy
Exactly.
bills are 5 times more expensive than America's. One of the few decent things that Barack Obama did was allow fracking, mass fracking. That supplied America with enough cheap energy for the next 125 years. We polish our own halos on this side of the Atlantic in Britain, and we get virtual signal, fracking is so bad for the environment, causes earthquakes, so we're not going to do that. So we really love ourselves for that, and we buy in fracked energy from America.
Yeah.
They frack it, so it's like, oh, it's all right if they do it. If we buy it, that means we're okay. It is absolutely, completely mad.
And it's
really
going to make us poor. I mean, the reason why Britain is such a poor country is exactly that. Did you know that if Britain was to join America and become the 51st state, we would be the poorest state? Mississippi is the poorest state in the US, and Britain is poorer than Mississippi. Part of the reason is our energy costs are so high, even in California, where you've got all of those woke people in the government that are hiking up petrol taxes. Petrol is still cheaper in California than it is in the UK.
Of course it is. I mean, the thing about American politicians, American governments, they know 2 things. There are 2 sacrosanct things. You've got to keep the price of petrol, or gas as they call it, and beer down. Over here, not so much. It's an absolute joke. Mississippi, how do you spell Mississippi? M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. What's next? What's next, Samara?
Is Keir Starmer the worst Prime Minister we've ever had?
He's worse than that.
Yeah, he
He's
really
absolutely dreadful. He's honestly, things are happening in this country, folks. If you're watching from around the world, if you're lucky enough not to live in the basket case that we used to be the United Kingdom, things are happening here that just defy belief. The problem we have with this socialist prime minister and his left-wing government has gone beyond politics. I always knew I wouldn't agree with their politics, but would you agree, both of you, that what we're worried about is the question of competence? These people are utterly, utterly incompetent, and Keir Starmer is just worse than useless.
I mean, polling-wise, yes, he is genuinely
and lots of other wise
yeah.
as well.
But, I mean, like I'm saying, the general sort of mood of the country hates him, but also we have stats to back up the fact that yes, he's deeply unpopular, and I don't think he's going to get out of this hole very easily. And you can see he's like a rat backed into a corner. He's hurling abuse at his opposition leader, who is not Kemi Badenoch, our usual party. It's Nigel Farage, who's much more popular in America. I don't need to explain him to the audience. Yeah, you can see that he clearly is on his last legs, but he is sort of sturdy. I feel like he's going to try he's going to try and hang in there. He's bullish in a very horrible way.
He's got a massive majority.
I wouldn't say he's sturdy. I'd say he's very fragile in his position. I don't think he'll make it.
Well, he's got a massive majority.
Yeah, but he won't make it to 29. He won't make it to 29.
I don't know,
he won't.
The problem with them is that they can't add.
Of course he's not going to make it. They're going to get rid of him because they know if they go to 29, they know they'll lose the election because of him.
The problem with them, though, Kevin, is that they actually just can't add. They are spending more and more. We're going to see tax rises again this year, and again the year after, and again the year after, unless we finally get a grip on public spending. We waste so much taxpayer money on absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I think in the end, what I really despise so much about him, but what I really despise is his bloody voice. We're going to smash the gang, so we're going to recognise free Palestine.
He sounds like Kermit the Frog.
And so on and so. Well, it sounds like a sort of nasal adenoidal beetle or something. Next question.
Is it racist to fly an England flag outside my house?
No. Here's the thing, right?
Controversial question.
As I always like to remind, particularly our American viewers, that I lived in the fabulous state of California. Well, it's a bit insane actually, but it's still a great state. In the fabulous country of America for 10 years, right? And as you go around, and I travelled a lot. I've been to about 42 states or something. So I've been around America. And as you go around America, you know, it's house after house after house, hanging over the veranda is the Stars and Stripes. Stars and Stripes, the flag, the national flag for Americans, it's not about politics. It's not about racism. It's not about being right-wing or left-wing. It's about good, old-fashioned, honest patriotism. In this country, it's the most bizarre thing in Britain. We have come to associate this flag, the British flag, the Union Jack, with racism. People in this country, millions of people, hate our flag. They think it's far right, and so on and so forth. And so it isn't racist to hang this flag outside your house. I'm going to start doing it just to piss my neighbours off. I live in a left-wing area. But seriously, of course it's not racist. And I just find it so depressing that people in this country see this as a symbol of far-right racism. Let's go to a bad ad.
When entering the world of art, you'd be smart to dress the part. Gentlemen prefer Hanes. With all the ladies draped in crepe, the artist loves the human shape. Gentlemen prefer Hanes. Hanes will make you smooth and silky, shapely, sexy. Wear a pair and you could be captured for posterity. Gentlemen prefer Hanes.
So that's a pantyhose, as they call them in America, tights. You know, so have you ever tried that sort of pose? You know, the men going like this?
God, ads used to be so sort of...
You knew where, in those days, you know, with the Folgers coffee ads, but you knew where you stood, didn't you? You know, men were in charge and women were just there to serve us. Actually, I like that system. Can we go back to it, do you think? It's happened, and of course, it is the complaints department where we go through some of the thousands of messages you're kind enough to send us. You don't always compliment us, but we like receiving them anyway. So both Reem and Samara have got a stack of your missives. What have you got, Reem?
Why is Reem Ibrahim chatting so much? She's so ignorant, it's embarrassing. Abolish Reem Ibrahim. Just deport Reem Ibrahim. It doesn't understand Britain.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to send you that, actually. But go on, Samara.
Lorna says, I may try again, but she's beyond horrendous. For me, she's worse than Samara Gill, who is just an ignorant, loud, screeching, mad clown. Yeah, yeah, it's true. That's actually such...
Who was the first bit of the tweet about?
I think it was about you.
It started off with you and then went on to you. What, you're an ignorant, mad, barking cow?
Clown.
That's fantastic.
Clown. Let's not go into cow territory.
Well, I quite liked that message because I wasn't in it. So another one, Reem?
Silly Reem doesn't work though. She just pops up unwanted talking on the radio.
Well, it's not the radio. Well, it can be the radio if you don't watch on TV, but
that was in response to a talkTV video.
Oh, was it? Was it? Yeah. Well, I think the jury's out on whether that's true. Go on, Samara.
Edward Parkin says, yet another idiot, Kevin O'Sullivan, who doesn't understand the difference between weather and climate change. Moreover, he's happy to display his ignorance to all.
Yeah, well, climate change. Here's my view on climate. I couldn't give a damn about it. I just couldn't care less. Are we causing it? They don't know. No scientific proof. Best thing to do about climate change is just ignore it. Call it weather, and then you'll be happy. That's what I do. And they say, climate, what about the children? In the future, well, I won't be around then. So the only thing I care about is me. So, children, if you're going to have a bad future due to the climate, tough luck. It's your deal. Deal with it. Go on.
Arrogant, ignorant, stupid little girl. Remigration is inevitable one way or another. She will be going back to Morocco.
Lovely country, by the way.
It's gorgeous.
Let's all go.
I think we should all go on holiday.
Let's all go to Marrakesh. Love Marrakesh. Go on then, Samara.
Schmill says...
Schmill.
Samara Gill performed admirably. It helps if you're pretty. Maybe Graham O'Sullivan and Cardwell could wear Gill face masks to boost their ratings. What the hell?
At least you're pretty.
Yeah, they'll be the first person genuinely
wear
to
a
ever
Gill
say that.
face mask.
That's very morbid.
I've got a feeling that probably wouldn't boost our ratings unless we rebranded the show as a horror movie. Go on, Reem.
The snotty, arrogant little People
Whoa.
like this are the
You're a lot of
problem.
bitches, aren't you? What have you done now?
I think part of it is because I criticised the state pension. So
Oh, yeah, that
I got
was
a
funny,
lot
yeah.
of hate.
That was
that's
funny.
one way to.
And that was what you said. What was your point about this? Your very cruel and
I said
heartless point.
Basically, I said that the state pension is a huge amount of money that we're spending, and 25% of the pensioners are millionaires.
Yeah.
So we should means tax.
That's right. And I said that, in my view, for comedy reasons, we should not give the pension to any poor people. Just give it all to millionaires.
Yeah.
And then I had to point out to the literal-minded that that was just a joke. Go on, Samara.
Samara Gill isn't even British. Deport her now. That's from Who Wants to Know. Yeah, honestly, deport me back. I don't mind the beaches and the easy lifestyle of Australia.
Why are you here?
Yeah, good
In
question.
socialist Britain.
Deport Samara back to Australia. In my dreams. Right, let's go to a bad ad.
Nervous is meeting your boyfriend's family. All 16 of them.
Nervous is why there's new Soft and Dry.
Soft and Dry roll-on. Nothing keeps you drier when you're nervous.
Nervous is taking your driver's test for the 4th time.
Nervous is why there's new Soft and Dry.
Nothing keeps you drier, yet it never stings most girls, even after shaving.
My fellow classmates.
Nervous is why there's new Soft and Dry.
Do you use Soft and Dry, ladies?
I don't wear deodorant. I just like
I've noticed.
Thank you. My body just emits a perfume.
Yeah. And Reem, do you use Soft and Dry?
I don't use Soft and Dry, but I do wear deodorant. I mean, I'm scared of
I just use a
smelling.
rock because I'm woke.
And on that deodorant bombshell, that is the end of another, actually a pretty good edition, very funny edition, I thought. Hope you agree, of What Just Happened. Thank you for tuning in. And we will be back same time, same place, right here for one more special edition of What Just Happened. You better be there.